screenfiles.com and review. And as you can probably tell, I am nude. Reason being, I'm talking about porn, because what I'm looking at today is 2011's Battle LA, and I generally don't like this movie. Reason being, it's war porn, in the sense that it seems to glorify violence against an unknown enemy. Then you may ask, why didn't I hate Independence Day or the numerous other science fiction movies that involve the military attacking the other? And there's a reason for that. Namely, those movies were cartoons. Independence Day and movies of that ilk aren't to be taken seriously. The way they approach the subject matter isn't very serious. People's reaction to the subject matter isn't very serious. While with Battle LA, it feels, and it's deliberately shot, as if it were an actual war movie. And that's irritating. And speaking of how it was shot, another irritating thing about it is that everything has a sense of urgency in this movie. It's frustrating, because that's also not what war is like. If you've read anything about the people who invaded Iraq, or anything about Vietnam, you probably noticed something. War is boring. There are moments of terror, exhilaration, combat, but on the whole, it's a lot of doing nothing. That's a huge part of war. And this movie, it takes it very seriously and turns it to an adventure. And it really bothers me. Aaron Eckhart is a great actor, though even he seems slightly off balance in this movie. And it feels very much like propaganda. And I don't like movies that are blatantly propaganda. That's one reason why I have no intention of seeing Top Gun Maverick. I don't want to see the Air Force sell me on their technology. This is stuff we pay for, and I don't want to see it glorified like this. War sucks. I hate movies that turn it into this grand adventure. That's probably why I like Oliver Stone's Platoon so much, because as far as I'm aware, it's one of the truer depictions of war. And it's oftentimes, as I said earlier, boring, terrifying, exhilarating, sometimes all at once. But the idea is simply that this is not a game. And Battle LA treats it like a game. It is pornography. It is war porn. And I define porn as simply something someone likes a lot, essentially. So you have all sorts of porn. And of all the types that are out there, war porn really bothers me, because it has very much a real-world effect on the way people perceive things around them. And that's not to say other types of porn, or just porn period, are great. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is war porn is dangerous. To depict essentially a cartoon in the fashion Battle LA does, to stoke us on killing this unknown enemy, done with such realism, I find disturbing. I didn't enjoy this movie. It's competently directed by Jonathan Liebesman, I believe his name is, and it's well done. It's not Oh, and I should also mention, there's so much shaky cam in this movie. It's literally nauseating to watch at times. I'm totally serious about that. And I alluded to this earlier, and it's a problem. Everything in this movie is filmed in such a way that it implies it's somehow heroic. There's a scene he's turning on a car radio that receives way too much attention. It's the weirdest, most fetishistic thing I've seen in a long time. This movie is just repulsive. And it's hard. You need to actually see Battle LA. And let me know what you think down below, because you might like this movie. I mean, there's lots of action, there's camaraderie, but it all feels manufactured. It all feels very, very fake. And I get it, it's a movie. we're on the same page there. It is a movie, I get that. But the problem is that it acts like it's not. It treats itself a lot more realistic than it is. This reminds me somewhat of District 12, which is a much, much, much better movie. Though, with District 12, you're given that distance. With Battle LA, it has a very immersive quality to it. By design, I get the feeling. And it comes off really disturbing and icky. And that's kind of the paradoxical thing about this movie. It's no more violent than many other movies. In fact, a lot less violent than the things I typically watch, like most horror movies for that matter. But it's repulsive in specialization of the military, of weaponry, and of killing. I know they're not real. I know this is a movie, and these aliens are aliens. But the thing is, keep in mind, the way you get people to kill other people easier is to make them into the other. Make them alien. Because you can kill an alien easier than you can kill a person. You identify more with a person than, well, hopefully, you identify more with a person than you do an alien creature. And this movie is just war porn. It's mean, it's ugly, and it's just not, and I'm talking not ugly in the sense of its cinematography. It's actually well shot. For the most part, some scenes are so badly lit though you can't tell what's going on. But we're not talking an AVP-R situation. It's not that bad. It's relatively rare, but it does happen in this movie. It's just so unredeemably a product that promotes war that I find this movie just painful to watch, which is kind of weird for me because I don't tend to get such visceral reactions from movies. And I enjoy a good war movie. Apocalypse Now, I mentioned Platoon, Full Metal Jacket. I'm there. I enjoy war movies. The more realistic, the better. But Battle LA is not a realistic movie. It just glorifies its violence and destruction in ways that are really off-putting. Though that's just my opinion. As usual, do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.